Greetings, Reelers. My name is Philip, and together with my wife Sherry and two of our friends, Chris and James, we're Fellowship of the Reel. 4 people who love talking about movies almost as much as we do watching them. We hope you will join us as we dig deep into cinematic masterpieces and some that are, well, maybe not. You have an opportunity to be the 5th host of our little show. Click the link in the show notes and leave us a voice message telling us what movie you would like us to review. You can also reach out on our Facebook page, Fellowship of the Reel. From all of us at Fellowship of the Reel, thanks for listening. Okay, on with the show.
Are you recording this?
Studying a movie in the mechanical level, I think, can really bring some revelation.
I believe that no one sets out to make a bad movie, with the exception of...
On paper, this should work.
Yeah, this should work.
But I just don't like it.
That's your own fault if you haven't seen it.
Way over budget, start
yeah,
cutting
right, yeah,
scenes. Even the actors don't know what that movie is about. Shit, I wish I wrote that.
Which I love the title, but that movie's trash.
Well, it's oatmeal, man. It's good for you. All right. Fellowship of the Reel, 4 Friends of the Movie. This is another holiday pick, Christmas. Movie for Christmas. We did Halloween. We got one for Thanksgiving. This is Christmas. And this will, Sherry reminded me, this will close out what we're calling the first season. So we're going to take a break. So if you're listening to these in order, or if you see that there's a big gap, it's because nobody wants to do this during the holidays. So starting the new year, we'll pick up. And we're actually recording the first show, or the first movie of the new season, so to speak, today. But it, like I said, it won't drop till after the new year. So this is our Christmas, and will mark the end of this first season, which, what, is about 16 movies?
I think that's right. Yeah, 16.
Yeah, so it should have come out. We got 4 each. I'll have to check. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah, I think that's one reason why we decided to stop on this one was because it was time-wise for the year, but also it worked out nice where it was even.
Right. Now, this is your pick, Chris, right?
It is. It's not James's pick, so...
Apparently. And it's
I'd never seen it.
It's not a lot of people's picks, apparently, which surprised me. We'll get into it in a second.
Yeah, we'll get into it, but I went back and forth on picking this one or not.
I literally said to my girlfriend at dinner last night before this recording, I was like, I think Chris picked this to fuck with us. And then Philip said he liked it, and I was like, maybe I'm the odd man out here. Maybe everybody else likes it, but I thought you did like you did with the Mist of here's something a little more controversial.
Well, maybe Phil was in on the fucking with, you know?
Sherry and I both liked it because I was watching it because I fell asleep during the first time, but that's not because of the movie, because I was we watched it late. But she liked it, and then I'm like, okay, and so I was in there watching it, making my notes, and I'm like, all right, because I like Vince Vaughn. I like his fast talk. I like his.
That's the thing. I don't like Vince.
Yeah, I was worried about Sherry. I remember you said that you didn't like Vince Vaughn.
But I loved this movie.
Yeah.
Are you a Vince Vaughn fan, James?
In doses. In the right
in
things.
Small doses.
Yes. Like what was it? Wedding Crashers, great. The other one with Will Ferrell, old school. No, he wasn't in old school.
He was in old school. Yep.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, so like stuff like that. Yeah, it's totally
he does
fine.
the rings with the cigarette hanging out.
I like his snark and his in your face and his fast talk.
His quick wit. And just
I
how
honestly
fast
He talks fast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This movie being a family movie, I know that I read in some of the comments that fans of Vince Vaughn were like, yes, finally a family movie we can take our family to and see Vince Vaughn, my favorite guy. I think this is like the Sam Jackson not being able to cuss in another movie. It's like Vince Vaughn needs to be able to just rattle it off, cuss, be nasty, be dirty. And he couldn't do it in this movie because it's a family movie.
Right.
Well, it was almost borderline bad Santa or bad grandpa, though, because it was family, okay, because it's Christmas, but it treaded the line in a couple places, I thought.
So too, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was what it was meant to be because it came out after
a little edgy,
Elf. It came out after Elf, came out after Bad Santa. Like it felt like a amalgamation of all these other Christmas movies that had come out previously, like Jingle All the Way with the Santa fights and all that stuff. I love Jingle All the Way.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, see, when you said Fred,
It's equally ridiculous as this one.
Totally. We'll get into that why with my notes that I made. I think I know why.
Who's in that one?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. You said Fred-Claus, and I was immediately thinking, "What? That's
the Turbo Man doll." Sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking that's the Tim Allen movie, and then when I pulled it up, I said, oh, "Wait a minute, that's the Santa Claus."
The Santa Claus.
Yeah,
And again,
it's good.
Santa Claus, Elf,
Yeah.
It's like this movie is just all of them
Yeah.
put into one.
I don't like
Vince
Santa
Vaughn.
Claus 2 and 3 very much. 2's okay. 3 was really bad.
Yeah.
That's the one with Martin Short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like Jack Frost or whatever. But the first one's good. Second one, and then apparently Disney Plus is like not rebooting it because it's Tim Allen, but like
Yeah.
it's going to be like a show now. But he's coming back to play Santa Claus, so
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool
Yeah.
if they do it right.
And speaking of that, Buzz Lightyear without Tim Allen, Disney.
It's so weird. Yeah,
Disney-
did you watch it?
No, I won't watch it.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Bonehead move, Disney. You screwed the pooch.
Yeah,
on
but
that.
it's supposed to be like Tim Allen is the character, but this is the actor portraying.
Okay,
Is
but
that
if
what
you
it is?
bought a toy of, say, Schwarzenegger, guess what voice that toy is going to have? Schwarzenegger's voice.
Well, it's going to have a guy that sounds like trying to
Yeah.
do Schwarzenegger,
Unless they
right?
paid him.
Okay, but
Yeah, unless they paid
Uh,
him. Yeah, no, I mean, because I was with you too. I
nobody
was
wants
like,
to see Buzz Lightyear without Tim Allen.
And I think there's an argument for that because the movie bombed.
It bombed,
But,
and I
felt
knew
the
that.
same way you did, but then someone who was explaining it like Sherry did, like that Buzz Lightyear, Tim Allen, is the toy based off this actual
yeah.
guy.
And Disney said, we don't want to confuse the audience. Okay, well, you didn't confuse them. You just,
No, you confused them because the movie didn't do well.
you saved them
And
$9.
I don't think it was the lesbian kiss or whatever that's supposedly
wokeness.
in it. Yeah, or the
No,
wokeness.
I don't think-
No, I don't think any of that mattered.
I'm going to see Buzz Lightyear. I'm seeing Tim Allen.
Right.
You don't have Tim Allen, you don't have my money.
No, I thought that was a miss as well. Like I like Chris Evans, but yeah,
My God. And if I'm
Buzz
Chris
Lightyear with-
Evans, I'm like, you got the wrong guy. I wouldn't even
right.
have a little integrity, dude. This is not your character, and nobody wants to hear your voice coming out of that guy.
I don't know what his reasons were, but like
No,
maybe
money.
they. Or but say if they keep adding zeros, you're gonna say no. I don't know. They had
Well,
enough.
that
Yeah,
is-
I'll do my best Tim Allen impression. Here we go.
Chris Evans doing a lot for his reputation after Captain America. He's trying to do more things.
Yeah,
Knives Out was amazing.
You know,
he was amazing in that.
yeah, I liked him in that
They're
a lot.
coming out with a new one. There's at least 2 more I've heard. Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
but Chris Evans, taking a swing to be Buzz Lightyear was a miss. But I don't know. I never.
Right, I
saw
feel like
it.
it's more Disney than Evans.
Yeah.
You know? 'Cause, yeah, they should have kept Tim Allen. Yeah, so that Knives Out or whatever, it's on. It's Netflix picked it up, so it's gonna be on Netflix.
Okay,
I
cool.
think it's coming out in the theater for like I don't know, like a day or a
Yeah,
week or
yeah.
something. That's 100% to me.
That's to make Scorsese and Spielberg happy.
No, I think it's for an Oscar. Like, because
Sure, yeah.
any movie that's nominated has to be in
Yeah.
theatrical run. And I'd forgotten that the first Knives Out was nominated for a couple things.
Yeah.
Because I think it was initially just supposed to be Netflix paid like a shit ton of money for it. And yeah, they got 2 more coming. I'm looking forward to
but
those.
that's politics entering it because an Oscar-winning performance is good on a small screen or a big screen. I don't understand.
I don't know, Phil. No, just playing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes, agreed. No, that's the old school rules, right? Maybe they'll change the rules.
Yeah,
someday.
it's people protecting their money, which I understand about the theaters and all that. But anyway, all right. So as we're getting into this movie, I was
rants.
I was perplexed about the genre of this movie, and I settled on one that you probably have it picked, and I'm like I think it may be this. All right, so
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that Fred-Claus is a rite of passage.
Yeah, so I guess you had texted that earlier, but that wasn't my gut instinct at all. And like when you said that, I was like, really? And so I looked at it and I was thinking more of Dude with a Problem,
Yes,
right?
that's what I initially thought.
But I agree with you. It fits Rite of Passage better than Dude with
Yeah.
a Problem.
Yeah,
I
right.
guess we should talk about the differences and that way why we feel
Yeah, I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
But that's bad news. There's nothing good on that page. Anyway. So rite of
He's
passage.
referring to James's notes, by the way.
No,
Just-
I'm referring to.
No, I know what you're referring to.
Anyway, so rite of passage involves a life problem.
Which is, in this case, Santa Claus's brother.
Yeah, he hates his brother.
No.
And frankly, his parents seem to
Favor the brother. yeah.
favor the brother, which has created some
Well, his
problems.
brother's a saint, right? I mean, how do you deal with that? But anyhow.
Well, yeah. Anyway, and then there's a wrong way to attack the problem. Well, obviously, he has become completely dysfunctional, and that is
Yeah, running away from the problem,
Yeah,
and
hating
and
his
hates,
brother,
hates
turning into
Christmas
absolute hater of Christmas.
Right.
And then a solution that involves acceptance of a hard truth the hero has been fighting. Obviously, that happens. And the knowledge that it's the hero that must change, not the world around him. And Vince Vaughn, Fred, says, you were given some bad advice. The world, I can't remember the quote. The world is what it is, but you...
Look out for yourself.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
advice.
you can't count on anybody. Look out for yourself.
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
the original.
initial,
Right.
Yeah.
And then he says,
which I think is the theme too. But
sure, he says, disregard that because you can make the world what you want by making yourself what you want to be or whatever.
yeah.
So at the end of the movie, Vince Vaughn Fred acknowledges that you have to change, not the world. And that's the realization that a rite of passage character has to come to.
You want to
Makes
go? You want
sense.
to talk about dude with the problem real quick?
Yeah,
Because I agree with you. I think it's rite of passage, but
Yeah, so that kind of surprised me.
What's another rite of passage type movie?
Let's see.
there's something in there. Kramer versus Kramer.
Yeah,
Um,
Never saw that one.
It might actually be in the table of contents. Let's see. Again, we can delete page turns out. Rite of Passage. A lot of these are older movies. 10 with Dudley Moore. I remember when that came out. That was
Ordinary People was one.
Ordinary People, Kramer versus Kramer. 28 Days, a zombie movie. Right? Yeah.
No, 28 days or 20
No,
days
that's
later.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, that's where she's
Oh.
Rehab.
28
Yeah, Rehab.
What's
She's
the
not
movie? Because it's got 28 days, 28 days
that's
later.
28 days later, right?
Wasn't there a sequel?
28 days later, 28 weeks later.
Oh, weeks
They're
later,
working
yeah.
on a series.
28 years later.
Oh,
28
okay,
months
all
later, I think, is the next.
And then Napoleon Dynamite, which I guess I can see. I don't know.
Okay.
I'd have to look at that.
Napoleon Dynamite's a rite of passage movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
we'll
breaks
have
it,
to-
yeah, he breaks it down and saves the cat. I think.
Anyway.
But
Uh,
because it's a life problem and then a wrong way of dealing with it and then accepting it, right? So I mean, that is kind of a broad thing, right? You
Yeah.
could put a lot
Sure.
of movies in that, but a lot of times it's like it's life problem, right? So it's midlife crisis, or it's a divorce, or it's a death, or that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Okay.
the dude with the problem is an innocent hero. No. Our guy is not an innocent hero, right? I mean,
Of course,
No.
he's. No, I was thinking more. Yes, he is. Just playing.
Yeah.
I was thinking it like at the beginning when
the prologue, yes.
the prologue when Santa is born or whatever,
Yes.
when Nick is born, like Fred's just minding his own business, and here
Right.
comes this
and
kid
he
who-
promises to be the best brothers.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
I will talk about that because that to me is not the opening image. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
No, agreed. That's not the opening image. So again, I think that's where that speaks to it not being
Yeah.
a dude with a problem.
A sudden event thrust our innocent into the world of hurt that comes without warning, maybe, but and the life or death battle is at stake, and the continued existence
Yeah.
of the individual, family, group, or society.
Which the stakes were high, but it was not life or death.
I mean, it is the continued existence of, say, North Pole Enterprises or whatever you want to call it. But I just
yeah, we'll get into that.
yeah. There were anyway. Yeah. So I because
This
of
is
that,
sting a bit. We're going to start operations at the South Pole.
right.
Yeah.
I guess I don't care what people think about this. Kevin Spacey, he was found not guilty of whatever, and did something happen? I don't know.
I missed that. So he was found
Not guilty, thrown out.
It was not it's not responsible. What is
Whatever,
the
yeah.
legal term? Not
Yes,
not guilty, but it's
it was a civil trial or something. So anyway, not responsible or
It
whatever.
was cleared up.
Yeah. So
whatever it was.
hold on.
I was glad to see.
We're talking about him being accused of
He said
sexual abuse,
he said
right?
he made advances on this
This
young
kid.
actor guy back in the day, and I found it speculative to begin with,
Yeah.
especially because for a while there it was every third actor, and it does happen, yes. But regardless of that, legally he is not responsible, and
Not
so
liable.
not liable, right?
There we
Okay,
go.
so
Yeah.
hopefully, because I've always loved Kevin Spacey, and I want to
do too.
continue to love Kevin Spacey, and I realized how much I missed him in
Yeah.
this movie.
I do too.
Right.
So I'm hoping that that it is true that he didn't do any of that, and that he can get back in the saddle because he is a real contributor to some really good material. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's a rite of passage.
Agreed.
Life problem, a wrong
Agreed.
way, and a solution that
Like I
involves.
said, my gut thinking about it was the other one, do with the problem. But yeah, it fits rite of passage much more.
So this would be our first rite of passage.
Yes,
Correct.
That threw me too. We've done, like I counted them, 6 of our 16 movies so
Yeah.
far. It was like 6 or 15 have been Monster in the House, like 6 movies.
Well, but that's
4 of
also
them were
true because 4 of
Halloween.
them had to be. Yeah, 4 of them
Oh,
because they
that
were
is true.
scary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
true.
scary movies. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. We should keep. I hadn't even thought about that. We should 100% stay keep a running tally,
Well,
and then look at it for next year and see, what how it plays
sure.
out.
What I
Maybe we can do a
do,
golden fleece or
Yeah,
two.
it'd be interesting to see if one, make sure we do them all, like you're saying. But it just, I guess I'm curious to see
Sure.
if we like one genre more than another.
yeah. Well, this would be a good place. Like if we were being sponsored, this would be an excellent place to plug Captivate.fm for your podcast needs. And so because that's what I use. But in Captivate, you can make what they call collections. So you can actually take episodes and take the RSS feed and add it to a list, and then it
So we
generates.
can break them by genre.
Yeah, and it generates a web page. So you can actually click on that link, and it will only bring up and that's why I do it. So like James, if you wanted to have your girlfriend listen to only your picks, you could click your link, which is in the show notes. It's in the show notes. Click your link, and it'll bring up all of your choices.
All 4 of my choices.
All 4. Well, yes, but in 35 years there'll be 1,000 of your.
Can you also do that with like passes and recommends and stuff?
I could. I have
It's not set up that way, but we could.
No, I can, all I do is create a list called pass and then add the ones that we passed on.
Yeah.
Yes, you could generate.
Somebody's really in tune with one of us for some reason, right? Like then they could look at all our passes as well.
Sure.
Oh, I don't want to watch that shit.
Yeah. 3 or 4 of those guys are assholes, but that's Sherry boy. She knows what's going on.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yep.
You're right.
Yeah, so I broke. I've gotten really crazy about this. I've got like I don't know 60 lists. Okay, so this will go under. What year was this? This is what 2007. Yeah. So if I don't have it already, I create a list called 2007, and so at some point, so every year that a movie comes out, I've made a list for that year and added that movie to it.
Nice.
Cool.
So I have like 50 lists.
Yeah, because you got like Vince Vaughn movies, you got broken down by genre. Yeah, nice.
So, yes, Kevin Costner will have a list. The writer will have a list. So, like I said, I usually go writer, director, the top 2 or 3 major actors, the year, the guy who picked it, whatever else comes to mind. But there's like 50 lists, and each one of those will have a link. No, we're not going to publish all 50 of those links, but say it's Vince Vaughn's birthday and we have 6 movies by Vince Vaughn. We could say on the podcast, hey, we've celebrate Vince Vaughn's birthday.
Facebook
click this
link.
Click this link and
Nice.
that kind of thing.
Put it on Facebook. Put it on Twitter.
Yeah. So the only ones I've included are our lists, and we could do anything anyway.
So the bad news on the page.
Okay. Yeah.
Money critics.
Money critics fans. Yeah. I was like, all these random. I forgot what we were doing. Okay. Yeah. So. Rite of Passage, first one, I think it fits, so that'll go on a new list. Anyway, yes, Money Critics fans, I am a sucker for the feels, as Chris says. So there's the saying that your movie can suck for the first hour and a half, but if the last 20 minutes are good, you've got them. And I think, I enjoyed the whole movie. I like Vince Vaughn, but James and a lot of other people did not. And I was kind of surprised at how low these scores were, right? So this came out.
I wasn't surprised at all.
No, I understand that. 21% of the critics gave this 3 stars, and only 45% of the fans, so over half the fans and essentially 3/4 of the critics hated this movie. That surprised me.
And that's why when you said you liked it so much, I had to make my notes because I had to pinpoint why I didn't like it.
Sure.
And I think I've narrowed it down why, but we'll get into that as we break down the story. And I think I figured it out.
Okay.
Why I don't like it specifically.
Now this movie cost $100 million. That's surprising.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's high. But and I was thinking that too. Like I was like, man, that's really high for what was in the movie.
Yeah.
But also, I think I'd be willing to bet it's who was in the movie.
Sure. Oh, you got. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You got
Paul
some.
Giamatti, Spacey,
Yes.
Vince Vaughn, and then
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates,
Yes.
and then Rachel Weisz.
Yes.
Um,
that is your
So I
salary.
think because she'd already done Mummy at this point, so she could,
Yes.
you
And
know what I
yes,
mean? Like all these had already done. All these actors had done. Like it's not like this is their first movie. They'd already done stuff, so they could demand a higher paycheck.
Yes, I think that's probably
wanted
where
to.
the money went. $100 million, and it fell shy of making that back. So 72 million domestic, 25 million international, for a total worldwide of $97,838,349. So they lost $3 million on this.
Yeah,
So people hated it, and it didn't make any money.
they got my money. I'm almost positive.
I
saw
think
it in the
that,
theater.
they got $3 more last night or the night
There you
before.
go.
So you gonna say something, Sherry?
Well, before you start talking about the movie, I think we should just discuss what is that called again?
It's called the internet.
That's a phone, Sherry.
What is 90%?
The synopsis.
Oh, the synopsis. Yeah.
Because I had never seen the movie. I had no clue what it was about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
we did
thought
miss that. Yeah.
I thought it was completely like when Chris said Fred-Claus, I'm like, oh yeah, Tim Allen movie, and it's not. When I pulled this up, I'm like, what is
Yeah,
this?
despite the $100 million budget, there's no Tim Allen in this movie,
Yeah, right,
or Chris Evans for that matter.
right. So I completely thought it was a different movie. I don't even know if I've ever even heard of this.
I had not. Well,
I don't know how this fell off my radar.
if like I said, if I saw previews to it when I saw Vince Vaughn, I probably just tuned it out.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing ads for it and stuff. I was like, Santa Claus' brother, Vince Vaughn.
Well, I think the concept is interesting. I mean,
Yeah,
Anyway,
I think it's funny.
yeah,
Do you want me to read it, or
yeah, if you got it,
I
yeah.
do not have it, even though it's my pick, so please.
Okay. Well, it says of the two Claus brothers, Fred, who is played by Vince Vaughn, is the troublemaker and polar opposite of his saintly sibling, Nicholas, played by Paul Giamatti. When Fred's criminal ways finally land him in big trouble, Nicholas bails him out and brings him to the North Pole to work off the debt by making toys. The headaches mount for Saint Nick, who not only must deal with his troublemaking brother, but also an efficiency expert who has come to evaluate Santa's operation.
Okay. And I thought, we'll just say it right now, I thought that was the weakest part of this movie, because who in the hell is the board?
Yeah.
And who is this efficiency expert working for that they have authority over Santa?
And the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy
and
down to one tooth a kid.
Yes.
We're dumping the Easter Bunny. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
Yeah, I
make
don't know.
sense. Rabbits, eggs.
One tooth policy for the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You lose a tooth and then move on with your life. Yeah.
Yes.
Funny.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. They never explain that.
And in movies, sometimes they'll be like, okay, this is why, let's move on. And I'm fine with that generally.
Yeah, but you don't like we even got that. Yeah.
It took me like at the beginning, the prologue with the birth of the brother and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And then it said, once you become a saint, you and your family are now immortal.
Yes, that was a shoe-in.
It was ridiculous, but like you were saying, I'm in. You told me what it is.
Yes.
I'm here for it. Okay.
Once you establish the rule, okay, that's the rule.
Exactly.
Okay, then
Right.
we're off. Yes, they needed to do that, obviously, to get Vince Vaughn and Santa alive at the modern time.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
But with the efficiency expert of, you could have told me, it's the board of holidays. I'd have been like, okay, like
yes,
the board of people that oversee the holidays. Sure, that's who's in charge. But they never even say that.
yeah. Yes, it was just accept the fact that there's an efficiency expert who's going to review Santa. Okay, but that's the one thing that was like that's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So anything else on preliminaries? That's like I said, 100 million. Nobody liked it. Whatever.
Yeah, this movie, I said before the microphones went on, but this movie I watched twice. Normally in all the other episodes, you hear me, I watched it 6 times, 7 times, whatever.
Couldn't bring yourself. Huh?
I watched it once, no thanks. And then I watched it twice just to make notes.
Yeah, just to make sure that.
Just to make sure of why, to pinpoint why.
Why does this stick in the eye hurt so bad? Oh, yeah, that's why. Now, that being said, I thought it was structured pretty good.
Same.
I thought it was very well structured. I was very surprised that it was 2 hours, which maybe that it never felt bloated to me, but 2 hours, an hour and 58 minutes, that's a long Christmas movie,
On
Right.
second watch, that's kind of what I'm putting my finger towards, is it could have been trimmed
Yeah.
to a tight 90.
Right.
If it was a tight 90 minutes, this might have been great.
Sure.
There was just so much, like the phone conversation between Fred and Nicholas was a 5-minute conversation over the phone about money and bail and let me get you this, let me get you that. 5 minutes.
Yes,
That's a eternity.
if you trim that, because and now James is saying these things. I liked the movie, but I like Vince Vaughn. I like his fast talk. I like his aggressive, in your face nature.
None of those things that you just mentioned made you cry, sir.
Right. But
So there's more to it than
yes,
just that.
no, it was. Listen, there are known emotional buttons, right? I mean, it's just two brothers who are at war start to love each. I mean, it doesn't matter. It hit the emotion buttons with exactly what it needed to get you to feel a certain way. And if you can make
Not everybody though, right? It's like James, I don't think felt that.
Nope.
well,
Yeah, it didn't hit his buttons. So either his buttons are broke, or he doesn't have them, or it just completely missed when it went to mash his buttons.
Any of those are plausible.
That was spoken point of you, but obviously it missed hitting his buttons.
Well, to quote John Candy, I could be a cold-hearted, callous cynic
right.
like you, but
Sure.
anyway.
Sure.
I like Fred-Claus. My wife liked Fred-Claus.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyhow.
We watch Fred-Claus at night together.
Okay, so I guess we'll get into this to find out
Yeah, let's get into
what
it.
the discrepancy is. All right, so there is this prologue, and the prologue is, to me, is not the opening image. It is not the before scene necessarily of Fred-Claus. It's
Yeah, because he's an adult most of the movie, right? With the exception of the prologue. So I think his opening image needs to be
yes,
as him as an adult.
yeah. Now there is this opening statement that I initially thought was the theme. I'd have to. I can't remember if I nailed down a theme. Chris, you said you did, so we probably did.
Yeah, just what he tells Slam, tells the kid, you can't count on anyone. You look out for yourself. Because then he changes. Once he changes, say
so
we were talking about a minute ago. You got some bad advice a while back.
Yeah, the dramatic question is that true? Do you need to only look out for yourself? And the answer is no. All right. There is a provocative statement, though. Sometimes it's easier to make a promise than it is to keep one. I wrote down possible theme, but I don't think so. So I think I'm going with what you're saying. That's a good statement, and it occurs almost about the right time. But I don't think it.
I think if we're going with mine, I think it's technically it's late. It's not 5 minutes in. It's definitely later than that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about the promise thing because that comes back at the end too. Because he, after everything's done, Nick tells Fred, "You're the best big brother anybody could have."
Yeah,
and that was his promise. I'll be the best big brother. So
that is true. That is true.
And that is kind of in a way, his struggle the whole time is he cares. He wants to be a brother, but then brother ends up being a saint and all the bullshit that comes with that, right? And then the wish you were more like your brother, Fred. It just eats all away at him, and so he ends up becoming the worst brother.
Well,
most of
the
his
parents,
life,
I think, are culpable to his.
100%. Kathy Bates can eat a dick at the
right,
movie.
exactly.
So
the dramatic question at that point could be, what does it mean to be the best big brother in the world, or is it easy, to say you're going to do something and then
to keep a promise,
yeah. Anyway, so all right. Opening image, I think they're solid on the beats. Opening image is Nicholas is a saint. He's Santa Claus. He gives gifts. Well, Fred is a repo guy.
Man, taking shit from people.
Takes shit
That's
from
excellent.
Yeah,
Yes.
I thought that was brilliant.
And I've seen this movie 1,000 times. Didn't even catch it till watching it this time with the beats in mind. I'm like, oh shit, he's a fucking repo man.
Yeah,
I didn't catch it till
that
just
either.
now.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was so in my.
Seen it a million times. Didn't even think about it.
I saw it.
That's
I was like, oh my god, that's brilliant.
Right.
Now we'll jump right to the
And
close.
mean to kids, which is the opposite of Santa Claus.
Yeah. You're gonna.
Of course, she kicks him, but
you're gonna be
are you nuts?
a semi. What is a mid-level student? You're gonna be an athlete. You're gonna have a kid. You're gonna have that kid in your life.
Pregnant with child.
Yeah, with child. You're gonna have that kid in your life. Do you love your husband? Who cares? You're gonna have that blessing. Like fast talk. Just one of the things about Fred. Everything, all the problems that he causes is really for your benefit, man.
Right.
For sure. This is going to help you.
Yeah.
Constantly with a girlfriend, with his brother, with his kid. I thought that was anyway. Fred runs a repo company. Fred takes. He is snarky and nasty, and he still hates his brother and Christmas.
Right.
Now.
All right, guys. Wrap up that plasma. Plasma to my house.
No scratches, right?
No scratches. It's good stuff.
Now we can jump right to the closing image because we'll get there, but we might as well say it. The closing image, what is Fred doing? He is breaking his back to give to the whole world.
Right.
Every kid deserves a gift. There are no bad kids, And I thought that, now, say what you will, I thought that was, like, at that point, that was an emotional feel for me. There are no bad kids, and, this kind of
Every
thing.
kid deserves to
Every
open
kid
some
deserves-
present. Yeah, no, that one hits me in the feels too.
That's what I'm saying, right? So, I may be looking at this through glasses that are not clear.
So I'm broken, is what you're saying. I have no feelings.
No feel. You hate kids.
No, not necessarily.
Why do you hate kids and kittens?
Yeah, right.
Well,
all puppies must die, right? Okay, so now his girlfriend. So that's the opening image, obviously. The setup, and I thought this was interesting. So he has a girlfriend. She's a freaking traffic cop. She's giving people tickets.
Oh, nice.
Parking.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
Nobody
parking.
likes a traffic cop, But that's who his girlfriend is. In some way, also somebody who's going to bring you bad news and take from you.
Yeah.
Oh, you were here extra 5 minutes. That'll be $30 or whatever.
Right.
There's never a scene with a traffic cop where some guy isn't saying, "Oh, I'm about to go. No. Here's your ticket."
That's what Jeffrey Dean Morgan does when
Yeah.
she's spying on
Yeah.
when he's spying on him. Here's I got my quarter. I'm only a couple minutes.
And she's like, "No." So both.
That must make you mad. People arguing with you all day. Right.
Yeah, right. And so Fred is not going to find a girlfriend who is a nurse or find a girlfriend who's a kindergarten
Yeah,
teacher.
no, that's true. That's true.
On some level, he's attracted to this energy that she brings through her job. I'm thinking.
I'd be attracted to Rachel Weisz's energy any day.
Any day.
That's true. She could be a nurse. She could be whatever. She could be a serial killer. It's fine.
Yes. Now,
Good point, James. Although I just thought about something, and so he's eternal, right? He's
Yeah.
so maybe in back in the, I don't know, 60s or something, right? Because he was an adult theoretically that time, right? 50s, 40s. Maybe he tried nurses and other things and eventually found like that doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Yes. Right. Yeah.
I didn't think about that till just now. But
Yeah, it doesn't really give a timeline on when they
Santa
became eternal and
when Santa was born, right?
yeah,
because
because I would
that
think,
almost look like medieval type times or something. You know?
because I would think it's like
Good if they
Interview with a Vampire type of thing of you've lived through all these ages, you are successful because
Yeah, that's what
you
I meant.
see all
Yeah.
this
I said
thing.
70s, 80s, but I meant like,
Yeah.
way back, like 1700, 1600. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he would have
Guess
figured
she
out
would
the
be a nurse,
stock
though.
market by then. Theoretically, Fred should have been a gajillionaire because
That's
he was
true.
just...
Yeah, he wants to open a casino. That's what he
It was a betting place across the street
from the stock exchange.
stock exchange.
Yeah, and I thought like all of his interest almost like, gambling, is legal in places, but it's a lot of people view it as a sin, right? And so like to me it was like opposite of saintly from his
Sure.
brother.
Yeah,
You know what I mean,
yeah.
all of his stuff is he's conning people, he's a liar, like it's all this, sin stuff versus, saint like his brother.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah. So
Bonsai Palace.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, still in the setup, the next scene is he's eating a cereal and the kid comes in the window, whatever. But I thought that
Don't come in here jumping around with
Yeah.
with the music videos and put your music on. Yeah. Good stuff.
he's watching the Charlie Brown Christmas,
Yeah.
and
Only you, Charlie Brown.
yes, and then the one quote we get from that. You're the only person I know who can take a wonderful season like Christmas and turn it into a problem, Charlie Brown. I'm like, yeah, they combed the archives for that quote.
Right.
Fred-Claus, baby. So I thought that was kind of
Yeah.
So I thought they were hitting on beats and things that are like, okay, there was some thought put into this,
Yeah, and Slam is his save the cat, like Fred's, 100%.
yeah.
Yeah, because he's a bit of a jerk, right? But here he is being nice to this kid.
Yes.
So you got to give him a save the cat moment. Otherwise, he's just,
Right,
you don't root for
right.
him at all.
yes, to generate.
I don't remember. I can't pinpoint, but I'd be willing to bet Bad Santa's got one too. Even though he's a douchebag, he's probably got some sort of save the cat. Well, the whole kid, the whole
Another
story.
kid,
Yeah, the
Yes.
the kid's being bullied or whatever. Anyhow,
The comedy guy who wrote that book, I had referenced it before. He uses Groundhog Day as an example, but it's almost the same beat as Save the Cat. He says it just doesn't. Yeah, it's almost the same beat as Save the Cat. He says if you have a hero that is unlikable and they need to change, at some point in the movie you show what that change could look like for just a second, and then you have them go right back to the mean guy they were, so that
Nice.
the audience can know that this is the change is possible, and this guy is what he could become. And I do see. I think I saw it in Plain Strange. That beat is in there.
yeah, nice.
Um,
they do it here with Slam because he's nice to him, and do you want the milk? Right, so you give him some milk.
Yes.
And but then he immediately after giving him this kid milk goes into the whole thing about no, don't drink the Kool-Aid with Santa, and
Yeah, oh,
he's
yeah,
a fame
no.
junkie and completely
A fame
ragging
hound,
on
don't
Santa
drink the Kool-Aid
Claus.
is what I wrote. Yeah. No, he is.
I like Kool-Aid.
I like Kool-Aid. No, not this Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I don't know why the wife and I it cracks up 2 hands on the milk. Like he says 2 hands on the milk, please, and then Slam he because he has the one hand with the milk, he drinks it, and then when he says 2 hands on the milk, two hands on the milk, and then he takes another sip. The kid does with 2 hands on the milk. It's just I don't know why
Yeah.
it makes me laugh every time I see it.
No.
Like, I wonder if that was like scripted or if the kid just did that. I don't know. It makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Get another sip of milk. 2 hands on the milk.
They start talking about Christmas and he wants a puppy and so Fred is saying
Name a macaroni.
Fred says I don't need charity, I don't need Santa. What I want I get what I want, or whatever. He needs $50K, he calls Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that kind of goes into the theme. If we go with you depend on yourself, right? The I don't need Santa.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the
They sell more Santas than they do Buddhas. Buddhas, is that the big fat dude that? I don't know. I see that kid
Right.
in my head every time. Makes me laugh.
Yeah, no, the rants and the streams of dialogue from Vince Vaughn, I always love that. Anyway, he needs $50,000 by the 22nd to open a casino. So this is I think there are
22nd, 23rd.
22nd, 23rd, 24th. No. Yeah, 23rd, definitely by the 23rd. I love it.
Again, stuff that could have been trimmed just a bit was the 22nd. No, 23rd. Yeah, definitely by the 24th. It's like, okay, bring that down.
Sure.
And I'm getting it now that I'm looking at my notes. The way you're describing it, it's like, well, you can't cut the repo part. you can't cut the bedding thing
Right.
part.
Yeah.
You can't cut the kid out.
Right.
You can't cut the girlfriend out. So I'm seeing where the editors and the directors had a problem of trimming this down to 90 minutes.
Sure. And when you put the camera on Vince Vaughn,
you gotta let it
I'm
run.
not. Yeah, you're right. He's gonna. He's like anyway.
This movie just felt so much longer than it needed to be, and it's little parts like that of no. Oh, this. Oh, wait, maybe this.
Yeah.
It,
No, I hear you.
trim that down. But then again, it's Vince Vaughn doing what he does.
Well, if you have somebody else beside Vince Vaughn doing this role, I think it can become. We way back we talked about a Blind Date and that opening scene of Bruce Willis that just felt like it dragged on forever. Him being late for work and finding and that's not a slam on Bruce Willis, but that scene it felt like he was walking through mud because the energy was not there.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a longer scene, but Vince Vaughn is like nitro. Okay,
Sure.
he is like and so he's delivering
James
with
was like, more like napalm.
right, but he is delivering with a pace and rapidity and energy that is burning the paint off the walls, and so I think that saves this scene that could have been even more laborious than maybe James felt it was. It could have been a lot worse.
If you had another actor just playing it straight,
yeah,
it may have been better.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like you could have fit it into 90 minutes.
yeah, okay.
If you had somebody like, oh geez, I don't know, Owen Wilson playing it, just somebody that's quick.
Yeah.
On the other side of Vince Vaughn, not as lengthy as Vince Vaughn tends to go in.
You know, he's
I'm telling you, Slam, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
yeah.
That was terrible, Wilson, but
You got to break your nose over.
just
ciao.
it's just the outer part of
Like
the
that.
Kool-Aid. It's not. We're not even in.
That's right.
Anyway, yeah. So
Santa's coming into his own right now. Right. All right. Sorry.
Wow.
Wow.
we're probably going to trim this podcast.
That's true. That's true. All right, go ahead.
We've been
Sorry.
spawned this bitch. Okay, so he needs so this is the. I think there's 2 ticking clocks. And this is the first one. He needs $50K by the 22nd to open a casino.
Yeah.
A fast-talking cheat and a disappointment to everyone around him. This concludes my setup. So I think at this scene, we've sort of got a picture of his world, who his people are in his world, what he needs, and his goal, and the ticking clock, and all that. The catalyst, I picked the catalyst, and at first I thought it was a little weak, but I think it works. Chris, James, you can see if you agree.
I don't think James thinks any part of this movie works, but
Right?
I do. I really do think it works. It just needed to be trimmed of
Sure.
fat.
Right.
fair
And
enough.
I can't
Well,
pick
so
out
did
where any
Santa.
fat is.
So did Santa. He
honestly.
was.
Huh?
So did Santa.
Yeah, right. I was about to say, you picking on Paul Giamatti? That's messed up, man. I did
the
like
ki-
his fat suit, though.
Mhm.
His hands were so
His
fat.
hands were good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were so fat.
the catalyst. He gets arrested and needs bail money. Nick agrees. to-
Whoa, just giving people help to people.
Okay. Well, yes, that is true.
Ripping off the Salvation Army. Like, that's good stuff. That's, again, speaks to his character. And just, I don't know. I love that bit. The people help people.
You look online, people helping people. You see a picture
You'll see a
of
big
me.
picture of me.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's this whole.
What are you doing here? Don't crowd my action.
Yeah,
bro.
I'll get to you in a
I'll
minute.
get to you in a minute.
And then again, this is one of those scenes that
Bring me your
goes
action.
on.
You know.
This scene goes on for way too long.
Yes.
You know, so I was about to. I'm gonna agree with James, and I hate it. I agree with you, sir. As much as I like to help people help people, and then the Santa Claus is chasing them, that whole bit, and it's funny. It is very long.
Well, he had to
Very,
get
very
arrested, and
He did. One thing I did notice again for the first time after seeing this 1,000 times. So his whole thing is running away from his problems, right? And who
Yes.
his brother is Santa Claus. In the scene, he's literally running from Santa's,
that is true. Yeah, that is good. Yeah,
nice. I like it.
I'll take that. Yeah.
even though it's too long. But
Well, yeah, but see, I was never bored by that. Like
no, it was fun.
I'm enjoying
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn, right? Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, and maybe like I said, if it's somebody
I
else,
like how he was personal with the people instead of just, hey, you got any change or whatever. He's
Yeah, yeah.
he's listening to one guy's music and
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Again, that could have all been trimmed tremendously.
Wow, no, you're probably right. He gets
not with Vince Vaughn.
I should have gone back. As the movie went on, I started taking notes on the minute markers.
Yeah.
So, like at 19 minutes, this happens, 23 minutes.
Sure.
I didn't do it up until the conversation with Santa Claus here in a minute, but I should have timed how long that Salvation Army.
It was
people
probably long
helping
because it was
people-
a chase and then a fight.
yeah.
Before him, getting all the people to come over here. Why don't you bring some of that action down here? Yeah, just all that
Army
stuff,
can't bring you salvation.
right.
I've got a
All the
feeling.
people can.
It's, according to most of my notes here, most of the things that I felt were too long were like 3 and 4 minutes long.
Yeah, that's long. That's a
That
lot
is
of
long. Yeah, because 2.5 should be. I think is the recommendation for a scene.
yes,
Unless
but,
it's some big, action set
Sure.
piece or something. Like it's
Yeah.
special. Most of your scenes are 2.5.
But even a dialogue scene that's 2 minutes is got to be long. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. And that's why the phone call with
Right, 2.5?
the phone call with Santa Claus being 5 minutes, it's like, oh my gosh.
yeah. But if you're a screenwriter and you're writing a 2.5 minute dialogue,
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
That's
About
2.5
the phone
minutes.
call. I'm the thought that ran through my mind was, is that cop really going to let him sit there and talk to his brother for that long?
well, he said it was Christmas.
Yeah, it's
Everybody's
Christmas.
charitable except Vince Vaughn,
Yeah.
Well,
except Fred.
and
I don't
Still, that was the thought that ran through my mind. But
yeah. So
Thought about the phone call with Santa is they set up multiple things. They set up
Oh, absolutely.
what's going on with him and his brother, right? And then him trying to manipulate fucking Santa Claus.
Yeah.
But also they set up Santa and his wife, Mrs. Claus.
Sure.
And,
Yeah,
then-
see,
and his problem. So I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, no, there
it
was-
didn't feel long to me.
no, there was never a point where I thought this movie was dragging, but like I said, I may be looking at through colored glasses because of Vince Vaughn and because of the feels later, and
Right.
I don't know.
But this is for some y'all, for everybody but me, this is for some y'all had all seen this, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'd never seen it before. Yeah,
So can you have rose-colored glasses like the first time?
well, Vince Vaughn.
Okay,
I
yeah.
just- I just like-
if you like somebody enough. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
that's
like Vince Vaughn is like I have like okay, so my personality is made up of like if I was to break it down, it'd probably be like 80% the dude, 15%, but there's got to be like a 0.5% of Vince Vaughn in me somewhere because I'm
Right.
like, yeah, come over here, the fast talk, the snark, the
Sure.
up
Okay.
you, and I don't know. Anyway, I'll have to get counseling about that and figure out what's going on.
2% movie host, 5% Vince Vaughn. What?
People help
What are you
people.
talking about?
All
Your
right.
percentages are all off.
Just it's 60% this and 80% that. Okay. If he wants the 50K, he will have to work with his brother. So this is
Yeah, because Santa pays the bill, the $5,000,
yes.
pays his bill to get him out of jail. But then
Tough
if
love,
you-
buddy.
yeah, I'm practicing tough love on you, buddy.
Yeah.
Had he just said, I need $5,000 for bail, and then that'd been it, he'd have got the money, and that would have been.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have the
Everything.
50K by the
And we
22nd.
wouldn't have the movie.
Well, as soon as he got the yes from Santa, we'll just go ahead and make it 50.
Yeah. I'll tell you what,
I
I'm
don't
going to
understand why
give you.
I don't understand why you won't just give me 50 so I can blow it up in 60.
I'm going to give you $5,000.
Yeah.
$5,000. Merry Christmas to you.
let me do this. Let me do this. People like to give gifts. So everything
stuff.
that he
Got
does
to be open to receiving gifts, Nick. Too, Nick. Yeah.
is for your benefit.
That's right. Yeah. Right. 100%.
Uh,
Meanwhile, Wanda is stuck at Bonsai Palace.
Oh, yes.
Because he's in jail.
Yeah,
that was his first phone call, and she doesn't answer.
yes,
Yeah.
the match cut of or the scene of her sitting under the sign. That sounds familiar.
Right. Bonsai Palace, right.
Yeah. Oh, it's a hot new spot.
You notice those seats suck too? Like, so the cage is behind them where the guys are fighting,
Yes.
right? And Wanda's sitting with her back to the cage. And then I like how they reveal, like, she's at a table with a whole bunch of other people.
Yes.
And all of them are getting to see the fight or whatever.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Where, her, so even the last minute, obviously it was last minute, the last minute seats he got weren't great.
Right, of course.
No.
I know.
There is a debate. He hems and haws, but there's never a significant no. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But he does try to resist this. So I thought the debate was there. He needs a hard out by the 22nd. Okay, I'm going to do this, but I need a hard out by the 22nd. Yeah, no problem.
You've never been to visit, not even once.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, so at this point, his girlfriend, Bonsai was the last straw, I guess, for her.
Mhm.
His girlfriend breaks up with him. His kid friend, Slam, gets taken into child custody. At this point, we get you can't count on anyone. You always got to look out for yourself.
Right.
As he's on his way out of town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and then he's packing his bag. Kid goes, and then Santa sends Willie.
Willie, yes. A miniature, I can't remember that actor's name.
his name is John Michael Higgins. I love this guy.
Yeah. He's,
I absolutely. If I had known he was in this, when it
his
came
face
out,
is
I
in it.
probably yeah. when the movie came out, I probably would have watched it. When
his
it came
body
out.
size, they did trim, James.
Jeez, that's hard to watch. I know the technology wasn't exactly there.
It's like a big head on a little baby or something.
Yeah, that and Ludacris as the DJ. Like they had little people
Yeah,
playing everybody else but them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the imaging capture, whatever they used, just it bugged
Dang.
me. Especially the fight scene. The fight scene's another one that we can cut.
Yeah,
with
sure.
the DJ, but
Uh,
So James is like, so speaking of like, final straws, like, so he's at this point in the movie, he's like, oh my God, this is so long. They could cut all
What is
of this.
wrong with his
And he's like,
head?
now we got fucking elves that aren't even played by real little people. This is bullshit.
Oh my God.
Well, they did it
I like
so
Willie.
well. They did it so well in Elf. They really did.
Yeah.
How they missed it 4 or 5 years later on this one.
Well, there
I
wasn't.
don't know.
The budget was already bloated because of all the talent they had. I guess they didn't.
Yeah, I
they
mean-
didn't leave much money for the CGI budget. Apparently,
I guess.
Well, I mean, it didn't seem glitchy to me, but it did seem.
I think they probably thought, oh, it's a kids movie. It's a family movie. It's fine.
Sure.
Like it doesn't have to be exact.
Yeah.
It didn't bother. I don't know. I thought it was funny. Like
Yeah,
the fact that it looked slightly off made it funny
Sure.
to me. Willie trying to pick up the bag. Oh, I would have got it if you'd give me one more chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get you.
Anyway, so the sleigh ride.
He asked Fred for some ID, which I thought was funny.
Yes. Yeah. The sleigh ride. I'm calling the sleigh ride into the second act. Break into two.
Hey, I got it.
Woo!
I got it. 28 minutes they land at the North Pole. That's the second.
Okay.
act.
What's it? Yeah.
That's
So
not bad.
right. At 25.
Breaking the two is 25. Yeah.
25. So and it's a 2-hour movie.
So
So
3 minutes of that fucking phone call, James, we would have been right on track.
yes,
Or less Santa chases,
I did enjoy him trying to scam his brother, though. I mean,
Yeah, if
I
they
didn't
would
have a problem with that. Trying to scam Santa Claus of all people.
maybe if they would have trimmed the Santa fight,
Yeah.
some of that, maybe they could. Be
yeah.
right on time.
The when they went into the toy store, they probably could have cut that. I think the chase and everything.
Yeah.
I think you end it with them tackling him on the street and then he's in jail. So you could cut that whole.
Yeah.
So I'll grant that. But I
Telling
mean,
you who's going to win this fight. It's going to be the big dude with the big yellow things in his hands.
that's right.
It's gonna be me.
Oh my God. All right. So now, obviously, fun and games.
Yeah, if you want to see Toy Store Christmas time fight scenes in action, I guess better. I would probably have to go Jingle All the Way.
Yeah,
Those are
yeah,
better.
yeah.
Paul White, the Big Show, WWF,
Yeah,
WWE.
yeah.
He's one of them.
I'm going to deck your halls, bub.
Yeah, Vern Troyer, Mini Me
Yeah.
is the exact opposite, and they're together.
Now-
It's
Good
just-
stuff.
Yeah,
We'll get to this
Against Arnold.
yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
I'm totally picking that next year.
There's another bit of brilliance we'll get to later, but I thought anyway. We'll get to it in a second. Fun and games: the upside down world of Santa's village or the North Pole.
Ninja Elves.
Ninja elves. Yeah. So you got the sleigh ride to the North Pole, Main Street North Pole.
Really? The hockey stop?
Yeah. And then Charlene, Santa's little helper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. The Santa Secret Service.
That's Elizabeth Banks, by the way.
Yes.
There's a thing, and I'll just go ahead and say it now because I'll.
You have a thing for Elizabeth Banks? Wonderful.
Yeah.
But I think Charlene's the problem in the North Pole. I think that's why the efficiency expert was sent. Because
Yeah.
she's using like 15 different calculators, and maybe at the end,
Yeah.
they're on computers, they're on
Yeah,
Wi-Fi,
spreadsheets,
they're on
right, yeah.
emails. I think she's the problem in the North Pole.
Yeah, but
Is
nobody.
she in the end, or did they fire her and they didn't tell us? She's in the end, right?
Yeah, she's
Yes,
in the
yes,
end.
yes. Her and Willie hook up.
I was gonna, oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to laugh if she wasn't in there.
Spoiler
I'm like,
alert.
James just realized he just figured it out and they fired her off screen. That's terrible.
Maybe
Yeah.
now she's like demoted, and
Right.
I don't know.
I don't think there's any way she could be the problem, sir.
No.
No, I see what you're saying, but yeah.
Yeah, but the
On that note, Elizabeth Banks and the other guy, Willie, what's his name again?
Higgins.
Higgins, yeah. They're on Pitch Perfect. They're co-host in the Pitch Perfect series, and the way they play off each other is excellent stuff. It's very, very funny.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, I thought the Santa Secret Service was very cool. Bunking with Willie, the sight gag,
Yeah, I have that as elf security hijinks.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
But that's, again, another thing that could have been cut. I know it was for fun or whatever.
Yeah.
But Santa knew that Fred was coming.
Yeah.
The security
it's-
details
Sure.
should have known
Yeah,
Fred was
it's
coming.
it's in there. I agreed. It's in there just to be funny, but
Silly.
yeah, logic can
the little
can-
person
can
with the
delete
big
the scene.
voice.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got a gun. Yeah.
And it was 30 minutes when Santa comes out.
Yeah.
At the 30-minute mark, Santa comes out and Fred, and they're there.
Yes.
I feel like some of it, and maybe I'm reaching. Maybe this is my rose-colored glasses coming in, and I agree with you. It could have been shorter, and yeah, logic. They should have known. But I feel like Fred gets beat up a lot, and a lot of things happen to him. Like all of this is his punishment for being a douchebag about his Santa Claus brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, right.
Like I really don't like flights and or heights, and then he has to deal with the sleigh and all that stuff, and
No,
and then he gets
absolutely.
beat up by some elves because he's a dick. Yeah, it's
And I think the first big check mark I have here is the uncomfortable family moment when Santa and Fred meet.
yeah.
That felt a little dark
Yeah.
for me.
Yes, I think it treaded edginess.
Yeah.
Uh,
It could have been lighter. It could have been fluffier.
So you think was it because of Fred's reaction, like he was going too mad, too mean? Because like he just got beat up by the elves. He's like, that's nuts. You know, and he's
Sure,
going
but
all,
in,
is that like pushes it over or?
I don't know. My notes in here just say uncomfortable family moment. So I think it was Mrs. Claus that come up and
yeah,
it was like
nobody is.
Yeah, but they don't like each other. Like that didn't feel
that's
dark
what I
to me.
mean.
Like they don't like each other.
They don't like each other, but
She knows Fred's a douchebag.
the tone that has and it was portrayed through the movie
Interesting.
felt too dark for
Or
this
family movie.
Yeah.
I know that was a lot of the feedback on the critics and the reviews and stuff I was reading. That is, it tried to thread this line and it didn't do it well
Exactly.
for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't. I guess I don't think I thought about it ever that much, but because maybe again, Vince Vaughn and Spacey, and then the hit me in the field, so I'm on board.
Yeah.
Even though it is very very silly.
It is a fine line because you have to create that angst with him and his family to justify
Yeah,
who he is,
right.
and I mean, it is a fine line to tread. That's what I'm saying. I think it wanted to go right up to edginess without crossing over too much. And
I think it works though with the wife with Mrs. Claus because she knows Fred's a douchebag. She doesn't like him, right? And then later on, when he gets everything he thinks he wants, and she gives and he wants you to have this Merry Christmas, Fred. And she gives him the present. Later on, when she's standing outside the door. And he has his heart-to-heart with his brother, and he says the line about, I just have one little thing's been bugging me or whatever about the naughty nice list.
Yeah.
She hears all that. Like, you see it on her face. Like, she sells it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, shit, Fred's maybe he's not the douchebag and, that I thought he was.
Right.
Because he's not naughty either. He's just misunderstood just like the rest of these kids.
He's the fulfillment of his own, and maybe is what he's feeling. There are no naughty kids. They're just kids who don't feel listened to or
some of them's pretty
who
tough
never
breaks,
got a
too.
gift or, yes. So I think...
He's those kids grown up.
Yes, he's talking about himself and is reaching that conclusion not immediately. I think it's part of his growth or whatever. Anyway, the naughty nice department I thought was very cool. The blue folders, the efficiency expert, and this is like we had talked about the board, and I have that in quotes because where did this come from? Is considering shutting Santa down and moving operations to the South Pole. Tooth Fairy and Easter Bunny also on the block.
Easter Bunny's been chopped, right? And we're done with the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, yes.
And then Tooth Fairy is down to one tooth.
One tooth policy. Yes.
Get a buck, move on.
Yeah.
Spacey sells that. Like, as ridiculous as these concepts are,
no.
like, Spacey sells the shit out of that.
Glengarry Ginn Ross, closers, coffee is for closers,
Yes.
That wasn't him though. That was Alec Baldwin that said
True,
that.
but
Well, Spacey wasn't in that movie.
Oh,
he
in
is,
it.
but the speech that you referenced James is right.
Spacey
It is Alec Baldwin.
Who was Spacey? Because he was mean in that movie,
He
wasn't
was
he?
one of the sales people, but Alec Baldwin was the big guy that came in. Who are you? Fuck you. That's my name. I drive a $100,000 car.
Closers, motherfucker.
Yeah. Now, we'll get to it, but I thought the sibling support group was some of the most. I love that
shit.
Because
It wouldn't work without the real people.
Right, so I'm saying. All of a sudden, I'm like, I might have said to Sharon, I said, "Wait, that's Frank Stallone."
Right.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. Then you got,
I recognized him first, but I didn't recognize.
and then Baldwin,
Stephen.
Baldwin.
Oh yeah.
He's not Alec. He's not Alec.
That's not Alec.
That's not Alec. That's not Alec.
What's the other
Well,
one?
I like Steve.
Frank Stallone, Roger Clinton, and Stephen.
Yes. I thought.
And then I saw the state address.
I thought-
1993.
I thought that should have been cut completely.
Why? No, I like
The end of it though, where
I could have brought the house down.
where Fred has his revelation.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Like that has to be there because this is where Fred turns his corner. Blah blah blah. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
We are.
I just wanted to. I was so
Part of that
excited about
$100 million budget probably went to the Clintons and the Baldwins and the Stallones.
Then Rocky came out. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was.
You got and then you're fighting Rocky and Rambo. Yeah, it's good stuff.
No,
It makes me laugh.
it's.
So I
I'm
have
starting to wonder who Frank Stallone is.
Santa Claus is my brother. This is serious, man. You know.
Is this funny to you? Because this is not funny to all of us. I'm Steven, by the way. Well, maybe to him, his brother is Santa Claus.
Right.
No. I'm my brother's Santa Claus because my brother really is Santa Claus.
Right.
All right, that's it. Yeah, it's good stuff. That's a funny scene, James.
I've in a
It's too late in
2-hour
the
movie.
You were fucking done
James,
by
James.
then.
2-hour movie.
Unconvinced. All right.
2-hour Christmas movie. They're supposed to be high and tight. Get it done.
Right.
Get on to so I can get it to my next Christmas movie.
You said 90 minutes earlier. I think what you really meant was 88
Yeah,
minutes.
88 minutes in.
That'd have been even better.
Oh my god!
So 88 minutes is the minimum number.
Yeah, if your movie is 88 minutes, then you
the
gotta,
studio has stripped it down to the bare minimum just so they can release
Yeah,
it.
you got a stinker. If
I don't remember where Phil and I learned that. But
This movie should have had that. I mean, I think
should have been
Jingle
80
All the Way is a tight 90, tight 88,
Probably, yeah,
whatever.
probably is.
yeah.
I watch it every year
Yeah, sure.
because it doesn't seem like such a chore and a burden and emotional.
Well,
I watch both of these every year. Jingle
Yeah.
All the Way and this one.
yeah, sure.
But I like it.
Yeah,
All right.
sure. You like what you like, and that's awesome. I'm so glad that
Yeah,
people
yeah.
have Christmas movies.
I'm
they
sorry
can
you have
watch.
no taste.
That's what I heard.
I wish, because I watch literally Christmas Story, Jingle All the Way, Mickey's Christmas. I think that's and
Yeah.
Christmas Vacation. Just
I
Yeah,
watch-
you gotta do
each
Vacation.
I watched
honor.
Lethal Weapon and Die Hard.
Well, then of course those.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I have to put on Christmas Vacation when I'm decorating,
yeah.
or either sit down and watch it.
Sure.
And I like Elf.
Oh, and Elf's a good one. Yes,
Yeah, Elf's
Elf's a good one.
Oh yeah, Elf.
Yeah.
And
Anyway.
and
He's an
Home
angry
Alone,
elf.
Home Alone 2. I like that one a lot better than Home Alone.
Say Elf one more time.
I'll do
I like
on,
them both.
on
Both Home Alones
Thanksgiving
are good.
Eve, Thanksgiving night. I will watch Die Hard, and we celebrate the Christmas season with the dropping of the Hans. So when Hans
That's
drops,
good. That's good. That's
Nice.
good.
when
That's
Hans
good.
drops, it is now Christmas season, and that is Thanksgiving night.
Awesome.
You please join with me out there.
Yes. All right. So, fun and games. He's looking in on his girlfriend, the workload, and the effing Christmas music, which I was completely sympathetic to. It's the same song. You're playing the same song over
Oh,
and
yeah,
over.
for
and
sure, for sure.
Yeah. And then changing the station, locking Ludacris in the locker, changing the station in the dance party.
It's an old reference because it was of the times, but it still makes me laugh. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna super nanny you. Right? Did the super nanny reference how he picks him up because he's like a small child. 'cause
Oh,
of his
yeah,
size.
Oh yeah,
And I'm gonna put you in the naughty cabinet or whatever. But
and
yeah,
here's
the
another
super
one.
nanny reference.
At 41 minutes, he puts on his song and they jam out
Yes.
and they're doing the thing. That's
Get
2
your blood
minutes.
pumping.
That's 2 minutes until strike one.
Yes.
So they walk in, Northcutt walks in with Santa, they're dancing, they're partying.
Right.
That is a 2 minutes.
No elf discipline.
Yeah, but I'm
Quick one.
singing and dancing
Yeah, but I
along
love
with
that.
him.
I love watching Vince Vaughn dance. I like
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Again.
He's throwing freaking elves into the crowd like it's
Yeah.
a crowd surfing. It was very funny.
I think that's a hate crime.
Not in 2007, man. You know, it is now.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
not in
yeah.
2000.
Okay.
You know, the North Pole when nobody else can sit. Never mind. It's
Yeah,
terrible.
anyway. Yes.
Oh, back to the snow globe thing when they're spying on people.
Yeah.
Which is also, anyhow. He talks about I don't remember the name of the kid. I should have wrote it down. He's like, you got a naughty nice list or whatever, or top naughty list, right?
Yeah.
And the kid at the top, Santa Claus tells Fred that, he bit his mother or his dad or something and his dentist.
Yeah.
Fred's response,
Yeah.
I think, is very telling about the whole theme in the naughty. Well, why'd he bite him, right? And Santa Claus doesn't even entertain it. No, you bit somebody, you're a
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
kid. Where Fred's looking at it from the other side, well, maybe because I think all he says is, I think he got his hand too close to the mouth.
Yeah,
but that's
that's
it.
exactly
Like,
it.
but
They got their
Fred's-
hands too close
This
to
was
his
a legit question from Fred. Whoa, why is this kid biting? What happened? And then when they show the Johnny or whatever, he comes in with a bat and like beats up his sister's room or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Santa goes, well, that's pretty cut and dry. And Fred's like, whoa, why is it cutting? You know what I mean? He wants to know more about what happened. Like, what did the sister do
Right.
to the? I don't know. I just thought that was
No,
interesting.
no. He
All little moments that.
yes. I thought that was
Sorry.
absolute. Yes. Okay, so we're moving through these.
Family dinner now.
yeah,
After
another
the-
ticking
after
clock.
the first strike. Yeah.
So the whole ticking clock thing is again the whole three strikes thing is a ticking clock as we're moving closer and closer to
Yeah.
disaster. Strike one, strike two, strike three. Dinner with the family and the efficiency expert. And then yes. So
Well, Fred
so,
gets I can't think of the right word all of a sudden.
Ambushed.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Ambush, yeah, with the dinner.
yes,
Because he even asked him earlier, hey, mom's not going to be there, right? And then he,
yes.
invites him to dinner, Santa does, and then his parents are there.
Yeah, a million houses in one night of breaking
And
breaking in.
Northcutt.
And
Northcutt's
Northcutt.
there.
And-
Clyde Northcutt. Yeah.
Yes, North Pole, Northcutt. I don't know if that.
I just get jacked thinking about all those breaking and enterings and all those crimes being committed.
Yeah,
that's-
a million houses in one night of breaking and
Right.
entering. Yeah. That's how he goes to Frosty's Tavern. Willie and Charlene.
Well, he walks out on the dinner. He gets mad.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's like, I think I'll be more comfortable back at in my house, in my dorm with hot
my
pockets.
Smurf
and-
hut or whatever.
Smurf hut. Yeah. We didn't talk about that either. It was a nice visual with the bed.
Yes.
He's bunking with Willie, and he's what?
You sure you don't want the
6'5"
bottom bunk?
or whatever he is?
I don't think it would make
it's
it.
gonna matter, Willie. Yeah.
Uh,
6'5", sleeping in an elf bed.
yes.
Again, same beat that was an Elf. Like it feels like a rehashing of what Elf
Yeah,
was.
sure.
And Elf did it better.
Sure.
Ooh,
My
shots-
opinion.
Shots fired.
My opinion.
Boom. Willie's Tavern, Willie and Charlene, and I wrote, and Charlene's cleavage. Willie loves Charlene
Don't forget her legs, man.
and teaching.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Nice legs.
And teaching Willie to dance. Now, I thought this was also thematic because I think it speaks to his perspective on kids, Fred's. He says when Willie is doubting himself.
After he falls on his face, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I know you got more blitzing in you than you realize. I thought that was
Yeah, because and
Well
he tells
done.
him the whole story that the Blitzen fell on his face
Yeah.
first time he tried to fly, and
Yes.
he's like, "What, Fred?" Yeah, everybody knows that story.
Yeah.
Now it's interesting to me, like, did Fred make that up, or is that really a story? Because
I think he made it up.
I think he made it up because Fred's never been there. He's never visited.
no.
Nothing. Not even once.
It's
So,
a fast talk sales pitch that he's come
Yeah,
up
yeah.
with, but
but it
But
works.
Willie is he's saving the cat. I think you got more blitzing in you than you realize.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like, okay, that's cool. That is good. That that's who Fred could be given the chance. No bad kids, whatever. The efficiency expert, Mr. Northcutt, sabotages. So he's burning or shredding the
Shredding the letters.
Yeah, strike two. Fred is accused of the sabotage. Northcutt sows doubt about Fred to Santa.
Not so much sabotage at this point. They just they accuse him of misplacing the letters or whatever.
Yeah, well, Northcutt has burned them, and now
But they think Fred misplaced them, not that he did anything with them or whatever.
no. But he's getting blamed for
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. For what Northcutt did. 100%.
what Northcutt
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
The secret
No backup system. That's strike two.
two. Yes, Northcutt sows doubt about Fred. The Secret Service attacks Fred, and I knew we were headed right for a midpoint at this.
Yeah.
Right, and so I have it as a midpoint.
At 59 minutes.
Yes, but it's a 2-hour movie, so it's right where it needs to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like when I looked at
Feels
the
like
top-
this. James this movie should be 59 minutes.
But the midpoint is it 60 or 59 minutes of a 2-hour? I'm like, okay, they're nailing it. At this point, I'm like, okay. Fred is called on the carpet, and then they have this intervention.
And he did learn from his first time with the ninja elves because he ducks the first one that flies at his face, and that guy
Yeah.
goes out the window. We're about to get jacked right now. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So I'm calling that
ridiculous fighting ninja elves, but it's funny.
a midpoint false defeat. Is that what?
That's what I have. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because then he's literally kidnapped and forced into a family intervention,
Yes.
which is the last thing this guy wants to do is sit around and talk about his feelings.
Right. The parents, Dr. Goldfarb, his girlfriend, Santa's wife. Northcutt sows betrayal. So now he's sort of sown bad seeds against Fred. Now he's sowing bad seeds against Santa. The little tree that refuses to grow right. The little tree in the shadow of the big tree.
Someone would just cut down that big tree, so that little tree can get some light.
Now this is
It's kind of a silly speech, but I like it.
no.
Yeah.
This is why I really hope that Spacey is innocent, and the court says he is. So I'm not going down that road anymore. But Spacey he can sell and do anything.
Right.
When he's given this
The
speech,
speech about cutting down trees.
yeah, anger and venom. I mean, like
Right.
Spacey, without even
They all love that one. They kicked the crap out of that one. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Spacey, he is like Nitro, man. I tell you, I love to see this guy act. I really hope that he gets back into the game, man.
For more of a love letter to Kevin Spacey, tune into Philip's personal Twitter channel.
Well, that was one of the first comments I made after I turned off the movie. I was like, I sure do miss Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, but you don't want to like this guy if he did those things.
There's 37 episodes to the Kevin Spacey love letter, right? And only 16 to our podcast. Is that
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
Yeah.
Well, he's been doing it a while.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
no,
Kevin Spacey is a fantastic actor.
he is.
Fantastic. And I hated hearing his name brought up in any of that stuff. Whether it's true or not, I don't know.
I am willing at this point. I don't know the facts, but the court listened to the facts.
Nope.
That's
he's great
Anyway.
actor.
Yeah. So I'm having this as the bad guys close in. The intervention, parents, Goldfarb, girlfriend, Santa's wife, Northcutt certainly. His kid friend Slam is
Number one
takes
bad
over the
kid.
number one.
Yeah, quoting him. you
Yes,
know?
quoting yes.
Santa's not going to bring you all family.
Yeah, echoes Fred's words.
Well, drink the Kool-Aid, fools.
Yes,
Yeah.
echoes Fred's words is what I have. So yes, at this point, Fred is angry. Every kid gets a nice stamp, and he's selling it, man. His facials, bam, 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 like he's just angry.
Yeah, because he goes and finds Slam's file first, gives him nice,
Yes.
even though he's at the top of the board, and then
Yes.
he does it with the rest of the kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now there are too many kids and not enough gifts. This is things starting to close in, bad guys closing in. I'm still in there. The brothers fight, and then I thought this was I could almost feel the hurt both in Fred and in Santa when he says, "I don't hate you, Nick. I just wish you were never born."
Yeah,
Which is
that's good.
I don't know if James said it. Somebody said it. What is worse than hatred? It's indifference.
Yeah.
If you hate somebody, at least you have a stance. But if you just don't give a flying F if they live or die,
Right.
you're nothing. You're not even worth the thought to me.
Right.
That's worse. And so I think this really hits. We're starting to move into the dark part of the script, and that is pretty dark. I just wish you were never born.
Yeah, but they balance it with this, crazy ass snowball fight.
No, right.
You don't bring a snowblower or a snowmobile to a snowball fight.
Yeah.
Tries to run him over, and he's throwing snowballs. I couldn't hit it. I couldn't miss if I tried, Nick.
Yeah, right. Fred gets the news that his brother is one strike
Paul
away.
Giamatti jumping up and down when he's mad, like as Santa Claus in a fat suit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Giamatti is another one that, like, if you have Spacey and Giamatti,
Yeah, they nail their parts.
Oh
Even though
my-
as ridiculous as they are.
Giamatti,
Their
I've
lines, they nail
never
it.
been disappointed by anything I've.
Agree.
No.
Agree.
Nothing at all I
Yeah.
can think of.
Yeah,
His beard disappointed me in this movie. Like it bugged me. Like I
Well,
wish they had.
it's going
worked on
all
their
white.
beard.
Oh, this is a surprise.
His beard annoyed me. Huh? They should have. They probably again back to the budget didn't have
Yeah.
beard budget, but
A beard budget. All right, so Fred gets the news that his brother. So the all is lost. Obviously has to be a false victory.
yeah, and he gets everything he thinks he wants.
Yes.
Yeah,
Fred
Deal's a deal. Charlene, just give him, or not Charlene, but the wife, just give him my money.
gets his money and a gift from his brother.
Right.
As he's leaving. So now he's got his $50K. He can open his casino. He gets everything, like you said, that he thinks he wants. False victory. Fred leaves, gets his money. Dark Night of the Soul. The evidence that Fred doctored the naughty files, strike 3, Santa is fired. Gets his walking papers.
Yep.
Fred has what he wants, then he opens this gift. I'm sorry I cut down your tree, the rebuilt birdhouse. I thought that kind of got me. Like, I'm a sucker for this, so I don't know if it was done well or I'm just on board emotionally because I'm a sucker for
Other
that.
things in the movie get me. That one doesn't. Like I like it. Like I think it's a good beat, but it doesn't. It didn't like make me tear up or anything.
It wasn't as strong as some of the others, but
Had they spent 3 or 4 minutes on the bird and the birdhouse before,
sure. Well,
like they spent 3 and 4 minutes
when he
on
cuts down the
everything
tree
else.
the first time,
Yeah,
and
they-
the bird
they
flies
cut it
away.
down, and the narrator chirp chirp never return.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they would have spent 3 or 4 minutes with chirp chirp,
Like a relationship,
like
with
everything
Chirp Chirp.
else,
Yeah,
in this
Sure.
movie is 3 or 4
they could have
minutes.
established a kid acting
but
more
if
like
it-
Vince Vaughn and having a rapport with.
Yeah, but
with
if
Chirp Chirp.
if you show a kid with a pet and the pet flies away or goes away, I mean,
Yeah, no, it's really bad.
it's
Yeah, that's true. If he has a pet and you get the feels and then chirp chirp never returned. Oh damn, fuck this movie.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
that's what I'm saying.
Just
Yeah,
pulled
so-
an old yeller.
And no bad.
Yeah,
Then
it
you
was.
hate Santa Claus.
It's an
Yeah.
automatic feel is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So they knew, okay, if we take a pet away from a kid, you cannot have I think that's part of the magic
Yeah.
of John Wick, which almost sent me hating John Wick. You killed the fucking dog. I can't watch this movie. But guess what? John Wick is going to make them pay for killing that dog. And so you are so invested. Kill him. Yeah, get that guy next. Anyway.
Shoot him again. I know you already shot him 8 times, but shoot him again. Oh, thank you.
And then in the sequel, you had to kill his dog.
All of this for a puppy. It wasn't just a puppy.
Yes.
Right.
I
I'm
love
excited for John Wick 4.
Oh, I can't wait. John Wick. I love John Wick. I'm
You gonna see
sorry.
John Wick 4? Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm sorry I cut down your tree, the rebuilt birdhouse, which okay. So they're hitting.
I have to ask the wife because when they reveal I'm sorry, cut down your tree, and they reveal the birdhouse, the wife goes, "That's a cool looking birdhouse," and I agree. But is that indifferent, or is she was it hitting her in the feels because she made a comment about the birdhouse? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's maybe didn't hit her in the feels, and she just appreciated the birdhouse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then we move into this.
Your favorite scene?
This was awesome. The Frank Stallone hating on his brother, Roger, the brother of Bill Clinton, Steve Baldwin. That's not Alec. For the love of my brother, love of my family name.
I could have brought down the house.
Bill Clinton, his brother. But I did what I did for the love. And I thought, okay, they're hitting on theme. This is where Vince Vaughn is going to turn it around, and
Right.
right on time. For the love of my brother and the love of my family name, I did what I did, or whatever.
It also shows, even though it's a funny bit, right? And you don't see him, you see the scene with the sorry, cut down your tree with the birdhouse, and then they immediately cut to the sibling anonymous, right? But it's him he went from being forced to family intervention, right? And the last thing this guy wants to do is talk about his family too. He sought this out.
Yes.
He goes to, like, we don't see it. We just cut to Fred right in the counseling or whatever. But my point is, Fred's trying to deal with his problem.
Yes, and one of his complaints is there are no bad kids, just kids who don't feel listened to, and they don't want to listen to him at this meeting. Like this
That's
guy,
true. That's
he
true.
cannot catch a break.
Yeah.
Everybody.
It wasn't his turn though either, because he's a douche. You know?
Yes, but he was desperate. If you're a counselor in a meeting and there's somebody with that kind of need,
Yeah.
you better address it.
Well,
This
but
guy.
I see what you're saying, but they didn't get to Roger last week. Well, the guy says that. It's Roger's turn. We get to him last week.
What is
Roger's been desperate for a while now too.
And what's his name? I apologize for Matt Damon. We had to.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel is always. Matt Damon is never there, but it's the
Right.
running joke of we always had to bump Matt Damon. Sorry, we apologize to Matt Damon. We get him next week. That's not Alec. So Fred is having his turnaround.
Yep.
We're headed for the break into 3. Fred takes his $50K, and I wrote planes, boats, and sled dogs his way to the third act.
Yeah. Instead of using it on the
Casino.
the investment in the casino.
Because he gets the phone call. It's the 22nd.
Today's your day, buddy. 22nd. Yeah.
Let's do this thing.
But he spends the $50K to get back to the North Pole.
Yes.
Which is cool.
Break into 3. Ticking. I thought it was like 3 days, but he gets there and the ticking clock, 10 hours. They have 10 hours. So now the clock is set.
Yeah.
I think this is the second ticking clock.
You have the third act starting there?
Yes.
The rallying of the elves when he kicks
Yeah,
on the
well,
door?
him.
No, they're like him calling, saying, "I'm going to the North Pole," right?
Yeah, his whole movement. So the movement into the second act was on a sleigh,
Yeah.
being taken by Willie. The movement into the third act. So it's an unwilling sleigh ride. Now it's a willing
sleigh ride.
willing
Yeah.
sled dogs, boats. He's on an ice-breaking ship at some point. Very quickly, you see the
You're saying him making the phone call. Says, you want to get to the North Pole tonight? I got $50K. Says I'm serious.
Yes,
Like that is his
declaration.
three.
Yeah, yes, that is him actually going into the third act. But the movement into the third act,
Is the sleigh.
is the sleigh,
gotcha.
and yeah. So
The
yes,
finale,
where
yeah,
did
yeah.
you have it, James? Did you?
I had it right around there, but I had it when after he said every kid deserves a present. There's no naughty. That's when third act starts. He gets suited up and boom. We're going.
I thought about that at one point.
I think that is
I
definitely
think that's
the third
the
act
finale
close.
and the tower and then
Yes, I think that's the
encountering
storming of the
problems
castle.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, storming the council.
Yeah. Yes. You make your decision to get into the third act. You move into the third act. You got to gather the
Yeah.
team. You got to
Yeah,
That
because at
makes
one point I
sense.
thought, oh shit, when we're jumping ahead, but when Santa can't deliver the presents because of his back, I'm like, oh, is that an almost lost? And then because I was with you, I thought, well, maybe it is when he
Yeah.
actually suits up. But after thinking about it more, yeah, it's got to be. It's the sibling
No,
anonymous
you're-
for sure is
you're-
the change.
You're right. You're
Yeah,
Pretty close.
within the circle of the third act. All that is yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense though. Fred going back to the North Pole would be the third act, I think, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
second
rallying
act.
the elves and coming up with the hula hoop and
Baseball
what's two
bat.
toys you in baseball bat, 2 toys you can make or whatever.
yeah, very quickly. Yeah, because you're right, Joe James. Because even if he gets to the North Pole and hasn't made a decision, he could be in the third act and be in the North Pole and be the same asshole he was and not do anything.
Yeah.
So him suiting up is
Yeah.
the solidified.
Mhm.
We're doing this thing, in the third
Yeah,
act.
because Santa can't drive. He's got his back hurt.
Do you think that is the break in the 3?
No. Well,
It's around there.
I
somewhere.
think it's
Gotta
like
be.
right after the break.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, I always look for doors and windows,
Yeah.
movement across thresholds,
Right.
and I'm thrilled to death when I find them. So I see him moving on these various transportation devices to get to the third pole, the North Pole, as
the third pole.
him the third pole.
It's
Yeah,
a different movie entirely.
it's my kickstand. Anyway, so yeah, getting into the third act.
Because that's what I thought is when he says every kid deserves a present. There's no naughty. He opens the door and leaves,
Yeah.
and the wife is
there
ready.
you go. Oh, you see, you got me with the door, man.
At the door. But then again, the sled into the North Pole.
Yeah.
It's around there.
Because if
so.
he hadn't changed, he's not spending his $50K to go
Right.
to the North Pole to begin with.
Yes,
Yeah.
the one thing that he wanted the whole movie, now he's going to use for something else.
It's almost like a double bump. We don't talk about that a whole lot. Like there's double bumps going into the second act, but there's not a lot in the third. And I don't know if that's a thing or not. But
it
like
depends how much they have to.
it's almost like a double bump because he spent his $50K, he got there, but you got to do more than that, Fred. You can't just go
yeah.
and try to save Santa. Santa's laid up. You have to fucking deliver the
the
present.
$50K is not going to save anybody.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, and it's gone because he's spending it all on sled dogs and shit.
Yeah, the money's gone. So he when he gets there, it's only him. Ticking clock, 10 hours, and then a couple of thematic statements. One gift for every kid. Baseball bats and hula hoops. Okay, someone out there thinking about them, right? So that's what he says.
Yeah, because the elves push back, going, well, that's Fred. That's not what the kids asked for. And he's like, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Every kid deserves to open something. It's just that they have something open on Christmas morning. Yeah.
Yes, and
that's right in the fields.
yes, because now I think there is some acumen here on the part of the writer or whatever, because everything that Fred is doing is coming from his own seed of hurt.
Yeah,
Nobody was thinking of Fred. His parents weren't. Why can't you be more like your brother?
right. It's
right?
a saintly thing he does.
Yes, right.
Fuck you, Mom.
So he has empathy for all the kids who feel like no one is thinking of them.
Yep.
So I thought this is where I became invested throughout
Right.
this movie.
Right.
So maybe I bought a lemon, but it's a pretty good tasting lemon to me.
No, I'm with you. I like the way this lemon tastes right here. Yeah.
Right. Baseball hats and hula hoops. Anyway, Santa down for the count. There is a rule. And again, I thought this was. Again, they sort of introduce these rules to cover up what they need to do.
Yeah.
So
Willie can drive the sleigh. No, I can't. I gotta.
Not on Christmas night.
There's a rule. Only a Claus can deliver the presents.
Only a Claus can deliver the presents, and that is a Claus.
Yes, right. And then I thought the exchange between Giamatti and between Santa and Fred was good here.
Right.
Santa is going to let Fred off the hook.
Oh yeah. You know I can't do that, right, Dick?
Yeah. It's ridiculous for anybody to expect that kind of thing, Fred.
It's too much. Trust me. I know.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's
good stuff.
Yes.
And now Santa's Christmas ruined for everybody at this point.
Yes. And I thought this, we've talked about it. There's no naughty kids. There's only scared kids, don't feel listened to kids, tough breaks. Every kid deserves a break at Christmas. And who can't cry at that, man? Come on. The Kleenex is there.
No.
No.
No, it got me.
Cold-hearted
That one
cynic
gets
like
me.
you.
That one
That's
gets
fine.
me.
Nope.
Not buying it. Fred suits up.
Literally
80
filling his
85
brother's
minutes.
shoes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see?
85 minutes is where I have that.
James is like,
85 minutes. That's right. According to Catboy, Breaking the Three is right at 85.
Sure.
According to James, this movie should have been 5 more minutes.
yeah, right. James.
5 less minutes, you mean?
5.
Oh, 5 more. Oh,
be
after
90.
the 85. Gotcha. Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
yeah.
you. Fred suits up,
Dang.
storming the castle, crunching the numbers, making the gifts, the team, Charlene, the elves, and Willie. Northcutt not happy. Fred flies, delivering the presents. Control. I thought the
Yeah,
control.
because Northcutt's singing on his way out of town, and he sees all the lights are back
Oh,
on.
yeah.
What the?
Yeah,
Yeah. Storm.
I thought the control tower, the whole flight control was very cool.
Sure.
Flight operations, chimneys and cookies. He delivers the puppy to Slam.
Well, that was the rule before he goes into the first house was going down the chimney. It's not going to feel good.
Yeah,
It's not
This is
going
going to hurt it.
tickle.
And I'm not going to lie to you, Fred. It's not going to tickle.
And then you got to eat all the cookies.
Yes.
Otherwise they get offended. So there's a, stumbling off roofs and all that of eating cookies and flan.
montage.
Yeah. We get like a second fun and games here in the third act. It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Again.
That flan, though, it makes me gag every time, man. Because he picks the whole thing up, just shoves it in his mouth. Oh,
Yeah.
it gets me every time. Fucking
Well,
flan,
and then he
man.
went to the Jewish house and
Yeah.
he's like, obviously this is the wrong house.
Yeah. What is it?
They
He
give him
doesn't say
challah
it.
and-
Shalom or something. He doesn't even
Yeah.
say it right. Like I
Right.
don't remember what he says, but he's messing with him.
Yeah.
Is that a Knish or whatever? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Who can turn down a Knish, whatever.
I think the guy offers him a bite. He takes the whole damn thing off the plate.
Sure.
But that just it seemed like me of don't forget to eat all the cookies. Okay, and then wacky music plays and he's shoving cookies in his face.
Yeah,
Could have
no.
lost it, but
All right.
that's just me.
All right, hold on now. So when he's flying through the neighborhood and he takes out that car, and Fred's like, "We'll come back to this neighborhood later." That's funny shit, man.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
He kicks somebody's damn Santa like their snowman off the roof at one point. Get out of here! It's in the way or whatever. That's because he's still Fred. Like it's not like this
Yeah.
guy became a saint all of a sudden because
Right,
he's
and
wearing
that's-
the
you don't
Santa
want
costume.
that, right.
Yeah. So it's funny shit. Yeah.
When he delivers the puppy, this is where I think the theme.
Macaroni.
Yes. The world is what you make it, but it starts with you and what you make of yourself. So I thought, bam, there it is, right? This is the book. This is the transition, right? I mean,
Right.
you got some bad advice.
Well, I didn't notice this until the second time I watched it, but he was hiding his face from him. So
Still felt like Sam should have recognized his voice as much as he listened to Vince Vaughn
Possibly.
fire off 4,000 million words, but
Right.
whatever, it works for the movie.
Right.
yeah, I was like, this is stupid. Why are they? And then I watched it the second time.
Rosie was hiding his
he's
face, yeah.
actually trying
Yeah.
to disguise himself.
Yeah, no, I thought that worked.
And in case you missed it on the whole, stating the theme or whatever, right? And the growth, you see that with Slam. Oh, Santa, here's your wallet.
Yeah, I thought that was a good beat. I thought that was a good beat. I was like, yeah.
That's a good start. Let's build some real momentum with that.
Yes, that's right. Vince Vaughn's just, I just love it. So now we have the Hightower surprise. So we storm in the castle, and you always have a Hightower surprise setback. Northcutt fires the elves and shuts down. So they pull the plug, and now I think we're flying dark up here.
Right.
I thought that was.
I can't believe it. I actually have that as the Hightower surprise.
Jeez, baby.
Northcutt cuts the power to the north.
Yeah, Northcutt cutting the north.
Ooh, I didn't even catch that.
Oh, yeah,
Very
no,
nice.
About halfway through,
Very
I'm like,
nice.
Northcutt cutting
Northcutt,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And then
And he's
said,
cutting the North Pole off.
He
Oh,
goes-
that's excellent.
He tells all the elves, go back to Elphistan or wherever you're from.
Yeah, wherever the hell you're
That's
from.
funny shit, man.
He ain't woke.
Again, 2007, you get away with that joke, not now. But yeah, that's funny shit, man.
Sure.
Well, she was just watching something on YouTube before we started this. Some guy was being interviewed. The guy who did Airplane, the movie Airplane, or whatever. Why Hollywood can't take a joke anymore? Yeah, whatever.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast. So the dig deep down. After the Hightower surprise, you have a dig deep down. We're flying blind up here. Santa knows Northcutt made the naughty list in '68, so you have this whole sequence of I made a mistake. You wanted a
My
cape.
misguided, yeah.
Yeah,
You asked me for a Superman cape.
yeah. Four-eyed Clyde is probably what they called you, and you wanted to be Superman. I wanted to be Clark Kent.
Yeah, that scene gets me.
Oh, I love that.
That
scene.
one gets me.
Yeah.
As far as the tears were just this ridiculous movie, but these two actors fucking selling it.
you
Like
got-
they're in an Academy Award winning movie.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
you know what I'm
Like
saying.
the way they
Oh, no.
just nail it.
With Giamatti and Spacey, you're not going to get mailing it in.
Right.
Okay. Oh, I got a roll. I got 3 lines. Okay. Those 3 lines he's going to invest 100. That's professionals, man. That's I love.
And you wouldn't need those darn glasses anymore.
Yeah.
But you what do you say? You decided to make, you didn't get the cape and you decided to remain four-eyed Clyde anymore. Only because Clark Kent wore glasses. Like, gets me every time. I love it.
That's absolutely.
She's making fun of me.
Yeah.
I was getting teary-eyed over there. I'm
now-
like, you shut your face, woman. I'm watching this shit.
So Now, Spacey.
Come on, put it on.
Yeah,
Anyhow.
Spacey just having been angry, he acts like he doesn't even know he does it. He tells him to put on the cape, and he calls him Mr. Claus.
Oh, nice. I didn't catch that.
You see, yeah.
Because he says Mr. Claus. I'm a 44-year-old man or
Yes,
whatever. Yeah.
all of a
Okay, I
sudden-
didn't realize it was Mr. Claus.
All of a sudden, it's the awe and respect.
Yeah. They had to show him the whole time. It's good stuff.
Yeah. At
So
that
nothing, James, in that
nothing,
scene? Nothing? You're like, why is the scene in here? Should have been cut.
At this point, James was out. I was pulled in by the
Bailed.
feels, and
Yeah.
James was,
It's a great scene, well acted, the whole thing. Yeah,
it was
it's
in
fantastic.
color.
It's just
In focus.
this movie varied in tone so drastically.
Sure, it had tried to walk a line, yeah, and did it wobble? Maybe, but
Yeah, this is a great scene.
Yeah, sure.
Just I don't
Yeah,
have
that and
feelings.
then
apparently.
the one that every kid deserves
yes.
those are my two
Now-
favorite scenes in like the whole movie.
Yeah,
Uh,
I could see how
nobody
that
could
could
see
happen.
it.
Come on, put
Nobody-
it on.
Nobody can see it in our viewing audience, but James has a black hat on, and I think
Yeah,
Wearing all black, actually.
he's wearing all black. He's
well, it's different shades of gray.
cold-hearted. I'm teasing. Anyway,
Well, I'll just say when he put that cape on, I was like, oh.
right, of course.
I kind of wanted the music. Like the old Christopher Reeve Superman music, because he goes over there, puts his hands on his hips, and when he turns it up.
Yeah, I thought that was. I would hope that would be scripted, but if not, Spacey.
Yeah, sold it. Yeah.
So I don't know if you noticed this, but when they're having the uncomfortable family dinner that Northcutt goes to,
Yeah.
when mom is just praising on Nicholas,
sure.
Flying around like Superman, he does the Superman
Yeah.
pose.
Oh yeah.
Northcutt's sitting right there, going, "Okay, this guy,
Yeah.
he's Superman. I wanted to be Superman."
Right.
And
Yeah.
then,
Nice.
it's a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that's good.
That's good.
I did notice the Superman pose, but I didn't think about how Northcutt would feel about it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
This fuck.
See, I'm bringing something to
yeah,
it.
sure. No, you love this movie.
I
James.
really watched it. I really tried to try it.
No, that's fine.
Now, as soon as you said that earlier about you made all these notes about why it sucked, I was very curious. I wanted to hear what you had to say about why it sucked. so
Oh no,
much.
no! I wrote.
'Cause I like it way more than it deserves. I mean, it is a silly movie, but I like it a lot.
Yeah, I basically just wrote standard notes with the timestamps on there.
Yeah, it
was too
where
long.
where could you lose some of this?
Right. It seemed like it was too long.
And I get it now with how much you guys like it and all that. I know we haven't even finished it yet, but it's like, what can you cut?
Right.
Right.
Not much.
So, he puts on the cape, and it's Mr. Claus. Like I said, he calls him Mr. Claus, which I thought
That is nice.
Yeah, the new plan. So
Take the glasses off.
you have the Hightower surprise to dig deep down, and the execution of the new plan is part of this 5-stage storming the castle, breaking the 3 thing. Superman turns the power back on. Give him his shot because he's not a naughty kid either. But the power is on, but it doesn't solve the problem. The power fails at that point.
So what's that called? If the Hightower surprise was Northcutt cutting the power, and then Superman, quote unquote, Superman turns it back on, and then it fails, is that another Hightower surprise?
Well, it's the execution of the new plan, and that's not going to be the new plan. The new plan,
because Fred still has to do it himself.
Yes,
he can't be bailed out by Northcutt.
Yes, there is. It's all. To me, it works. It's delivered in one line. Fred and Willie are in the sled, and now they are flying blind. They're going to have to do it themselves. And so there's a scene where they're zipping around like lightning fast, and the sun is rising behind them. And to me, it really worked as a scene. It got me again. Willie says, Fred, and he says, I know, Willie, I know. And he's faster. To me, that one little exchange, again, feels we're right there.
Because they had to have it done by a certain time.
It has to be done by sunrise.
Yeah, 5:30
North
Pole time or whatever.
Or they do not fulfill, and the efficiency expert can shut them down.
What time zone is the North Pole in? In winter, does the sun rise at all? Yeah. Especially around Christmas?
Well, the international date line is in like some little town in England. It actually has a line down the center of the street, but where they set all the other times is actually, and the line runs down a street in this little town in England. And so they've got like a brass rail or something running down the center of the street. Like it's a physical location.
Cool.
But in the North Pole, there is no sunrise in the dead of winter.
Yeah, I don't.
That's what I was thinking about that too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
5:38 North Pole time.
It didn't seem like he was going around the world. It was like he was going.
Sure, yeah. Even a mail route will have the most efficient.
Well, it's Fred doing it though.
Yes, Fred. Right. I know, Willie. I know. I thought it sold. Sunrise. Okay. I have this section as the boys are back in town. Willie enters the bar, kisses the girl, and now she remembers his name. I thought, and then Fred comes in. We did it to the snow globe. Christmas joy. Blah blah blah. Everybody's cheering, and I'm crying, and James is shaking his head, saying this fucking thing.
Yeah. How much more time is left in this movie?
All right. So closing image: satisfaction at giving rather than taking. We already talked about this. You are the best big brother anybody could ever ask for. So all these loose ends are now tied up, reunited, and it feels so good. Him and his girlfriend get back together. At least I wrote down, at least we had Paris. It's a quote from, whatever. Right. They go to Paris. Northcutt on the job as a consultant, wears his cape underneath his sweater. Willie and Charlene are together. Fred and Slam.
His comment about the Paris, though, is this okay that we're doing that? It's Perks the job. It's a company vehicle.
Company vehicle, yeah.
That's nice.
I thought that was good. Willie and Charlene are together. Fred and Slam. Slam gets a family of his own. Fred's family is back together. His mother is still being his mother, but he's
a little bit better. But man,
he's okay
Chirp
with
would
it.
only pick her eyes out, man.
Right, but he hugs her. And I know mine. Whatever. Right. All loose ends tied up. The return of Chirp Chirp. I almost cheered. Yeah. So even Chirp Chirp comes back.
So the narrator's a fucking liar.
Well,
Chirp Chirp never returned. But he did.
Sure.
Yeah.
All loose ends tied up. Return of Chirp Chirp. So
and that's when I thought Charlene was the problem, because now they're updated with computers, emails, internet.
Yeah.
And Charlene has no calculators in her hand anymore. She's just running around with Willie. So I think she was the problem at the North Pole.
Yes.
Man.
Now, talk about modern day. This is me being a cynic. I didn't really think this, but Willie walks up and just grabs Charlene and kisses her. I'm like, that's inappropriate touching. You didn't get her permission to kiss her. You can't just walk up to a coworker and kiss him. In my mind, I'm being sarcastic, of course. But
of course,
workplace
North Pole rules, baby.
Right. Yes.
Over in Alpha Stan, they have different.
Yeah, wherever the hell you're from. That is
Fred-Claus.
And
I think I made my feelings on it pretty clear. Help me figure out why I didn't like it.
Well, you're going to love this, James. So this podcast used to be an hour. We tried to make it. We set out with the idea that we're going to make this an hour.
It was 88 minutes.
Then it was like an hour and 5, hour and 10. If you look at our episodes, they get progressively longer.
We're at 88 minutes.
88 minutes.
I'm guessing.
Are we?
We are at 1 hour and 30 minutes, sir.
90
Jesus.
minutes. Tight.
90 minutes.
Now,
tight.
there was a lot of-
a nice tight holiday.
We're as long as the movie.
Yeah.
We talked about this movie as long as the movie is.
And we were way more entertaining.
We would hope so. Now, there is a lot of
We did not have Elizabeth Banks, so
That's true.
right. We did have some talk at the beginning that but yeah, this is
yeah, you'll trim it up and
well yeah
cut out all our inappropriate stuff and
yeah if we get right to the podcast.
Yeah.
But I always like that banter that we have.
If you cut out all of my stuff, it'll be a tight hour.
oh my god, okay.
And I would get it. I
No,
would understand.
it will drop from there because I truncate silence where I take out any pause that's longer than half a second.
Charity, you got anything to add
I
despite
was going
the
to say,
link?
the more you talk about that, though, you're going to have to cut this.
Sure, yeah. Let's cut this out. All right, so pass, consider, recommend. I recommend it. I love this movie, but apparently I am in the minority with even the critics and the fans and James. But I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for the feels. If you can hit me with the feels, I'm entirely forgiving.
Okay. That's awesome. I'm going to pass.
Sure.
And I think this could have been better. Like, it just,
Right.
if it was edited down story-wise, this, like we say in the trailer, or like I say in the trailer, it works on paper. I just don't like it.
Right. Yeah.
This is a good example
There
of
you
that.
go.
Yeah, it's a recommend.
Yeah,
for me.
there you go.
It's a silly little Christmas movie, but yeah, I don't know. It's, I guess a lot of what Phil said. I guess it
Yeah.
hits me in the feels, and I just like that. You got these A-list, high caliber
Oh, yeah.
actors, selling it, in this silly little movie.
Sure.
Yes, I highly recommend. This was the first time, like I said, the first time I ever saw it. When I watched the trailer, I was drawn in by all the actors that were in it: Kathy Bates, Kevin Spacey, of course, and you were talking about feel good or something that really got to you.
Yeah.
What actually got to me was the scene when they go to the globe, and you talked about it so fast I didn't get a chance to say my piece about it.
Sorry.
When they go and run to the snow globe to watch the kids open their presents.
Yes.
I immediately went back to when I was a child.
Oh, well, there you
And
go.
that's exactly what I just sat there and, about get teary eyed how remembering Christmas when I was
Sure,
young.
sure.
And it just,
Well, and I think that was they wanted you to be united with kids who weren't listened to. I mean, who would not feel for an orphan or a misunderstood person, And so the movie may not be as good as we're saying, but they knew to poke us in the places that are going to make us feel. And so now we love our feelings and we're transferring that to the movie. And I guarantee that's what they wanted.
A lot of that has to do with the soundtrack score.
Sure. It might be
the
music.
bringing up at the right moments.
Sure.
They manipulate your feelings
Yes.
tremendously.
A
And
minor key will make you cry, right?
I think I'm immune to that.
Yeah, sure.
Because I listen to so much music and I do so much music.
I'm
things,
not
and I
falling
know
for
the
it.
tricks. That
That's how they get you.
That's how
Well,
they get you.
when I was watching it, I didn't notice until like, I don't know, over halfway through. I'm sitting there smiling the whole time.
Sure.
And like you said earlier, I started it on a late Friday night, watching it, thinking, okay, I might fall asleep. I can finish it tomorrow. Oh, I was wide awake the whole
Sure.
time, and then of course after I finished it, and you woke up, and I said that was really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Well, we are sheep apparently, subject to the manipulations of the cinema machine, and James will have to be the guy that rescues us from
That's right.
the pitfalls of
Listen to me. You'll be all right, kid.
yeah. Go with your logic, not your emotion. And, yeah. Anyway, all right. Anything?
James just needs a Superman cape, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I did ask for my Superman cape was a drum set. I always wanted a drum set.
You
when I
didn't
was
get
a
it?
Kid. I never got a drum set because they were too loud. You couldn't turn them down.
Yeah.
So my parents got me a guitar.
All
You
right.
could turn a guitar down. And now that I'm almost 40, guess what I have? Drums, guitars,
oh, sweet.
bass,
Yeah, yeah.
everything. So
I get what I want. I don't need charity. I don't need.
Yeah, no, you're like Fred-Claus and Northcutt.
yeah. Yeah, I relied on myself. I
There you
took
go.
Fred's advice. Can't count on anybody.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. Maybe I'm due this year for a Christmas Carol type situation
Sure.
where I'm to review my life.
All right. There you go.
Nice.
Get a heart.
Fucking Grinch, you know?
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm feeling. What is happening to me?
Poor James.
I'm leaking.
All right.
Anyhow.
Anything else? Nope.
Nope. Merry Christmas.
Merry
I
Christmas.
hope people will enjoy this podcast as much as we do. I have a
Yeah. Be like the three of us, not like James. Hope you enjoy it. No, if you don't like Fred-Claus, maybe you should skip this podcast.
right.
Not the whole thing, just this one.
Yeah.
Well, too late. They've already listened to it.
That's true. If you're hearing this part, you messed up.
There's a time you're never getting back, people.
That's right.
All right. That's Fred-Claus, and we are out.
I was like, I think Chris picked this to fuck with us.
Have a little integrity, dude. But that's bad news. There's nothing good on that page. Anyway,
Okay.
the dude with the problem is an innocent hero. No. This came out.
I wasn't surprised at all.
No, I understand that.
I watched it once. No thanks. So I'm broken, is what you're saying.
Two hands on the road.
Yeah. Charlene, Santa's little helper. Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like such a chore and a burden and emotional.
Well,
I'm feeling. What is happening to me?